This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
How old were you when you realized you were the son of a president?
I don't think anyone's ever asked me that before.
FX's Love Story. John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette.
I didn't think I could love someone like this until you.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy.
It's not a question of if I want to spend the rest of my life with you. It's if I'm cut out to be Mrs. JFK Jr.
FX's Love Story. John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Watch now on FX, Hulu, and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, your new foundation. Use PDF spaces to generate a presentation. Grab your docs, your permits, your moves. AI levels up your pitch, gets it in a groove. Choose a template with your timeless cool. Come on now, let's flex those tools. Draft, design, deliver, make it sing. AI builds the deck so you can build that thing. Do that, do that, do that with Acrobat.
Learn more at adobe.com/do-that-with-Acrobat.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Dara Lane, and this is, of course, What's Your Issue? Today, we're going to be doing a little switcheroo. We usually do a Thursday regular episode, and when we do bonus episodes, we usually put them out on Friday. But this time, everything is all upside down. Today, we're going to have a bonus episode for you, and then tomorrow will be our regular episode. So today's bonus is the first time Troy and I ever recorded together. This recording is from a Smush Room Patreon episode where we talk about Heidi and Spencer. And I guess this was from like 2020. I mean, it was so long ago and so fresh in our friendship that Troy calls me Dara. This episode is behind a paywall on Troy's Patreon. Just to give him a plug, he's putting up some new episodes on there. We hope you enjoy this bonus. Subscribe to Troy's Patreon and, subscribe to ours. What's Your Issue? And just know, carry this with you today, that we love you very much. All right? Bye.
All right, you guys, welcome to episode 116 of The Smush Room, the podcast that deep dives into well-known and, more importantly, not so well-known hookups of your favorite reality TV stars. It's me, Troy McKeedy, and I'm very excited about this real spooky-ooky episode that I'm doing today. I guess you could say that we're talking about, like, a former king and queen of Halloween. Like, they're sort of known for, like, their pumpkin patch picking moments and all that stuff. But I'm really excited about my guest. I don't feel like there's anybody more well-equipped to do this with. I'm speaking to Dara Lane from the Do You Remember This podcast. How are you?
Good. How are you? So excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. I'm on top of the fact that I'm obsessed with the name of your podcast. I think it's like truly the most clever thing I've ever read in my life. Like, it's so fucking good.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. I mean, it was such a gamble choosing the name because no one can pronounce it if they don't know what Ledoux was. And I mean, it's hard to tell people what it is and they never know how to spell it. But I just thought it was too clever to pass up. So I appreciate that someone likes it.
No, it's so good. It's good and it's funny and it's like a fun little quippy play on words. And if you do know what it is, then it's like you automatically know that it's a podcast that you'll want to listen to, that's like the thing I love about it.
That's what I like to do is, inside baseball. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, get to know it. Okay.
Exactly. But I spoiled it, but we're talking about Heidi and Spencer today. And I don't know, there's something about Heidi and Spencer that just like ignites the feelings of like Halloween for me. Those pumpkin patch photos, like we've been viewing for 15 years, it just feels like the right time to talk about them.
It's so true. And their pumpkin patch photos are only rivaled by Courtney Stodden's.
Yes.
So they're up there for sure.
Absolutely. Courtney was definitely inspired by Heidi when she planned out her her rootin' tootin' pumpkin patch photos.
I would say maybe her entire life.
Yeah.
It's like Heidi and Anna Nicole Smith and Marilyn Monroe all.
Little Pam Anderson in there.
Oh, yes, little Pam. Can't forget her.
Well, yeah, we're talking about Heidi and Spencer today, and I was just saying before we started recording that I do have like structured notes, but for the most part, I just want to kind of like gab about the hills and
Yeah.
reminisce and just like get right into it.
Let's dive in head first.
So I know that it's obviously hard to imagine a time before Heidi and Spencer were a couple, but they did technically start dating in the fall of 2006, and they were engaged in May of 2007. They got married in 2009. And I mean, look, Heidi and Spencer are like truly pioneers, like not only in reality television, but in the world of like the unapologetically desperate, and I mean that in the best way possible, like early 2000s celebrity in quotes, you know?
Yes, yes. I mean, the funny thing about them is when I was watching the show originally, it was like, wow, Spencer is truly the worst guy ever. You can't ever imagine them sticking together. And then
Hmm.
it's like 10 years later, at least,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
still
They're like,
together. It's shocking.
and like one of the only couples from that time period that like, it's like not only are they together, but anybody who's interviewed them, any interview that I read, they just seem so in love. Like they are so into each other still.
I feel that they are woefully codependent,
Hmm.
but you can be in love and codependent. So
That's very true. They are very, I mean, it's like they have their own little world that they created and they've never really exited that ever since they
no.
created it.
I mean, I I go back and forth with how I feel about them as a couple because I
Hmm.
do feel like Spencer has really cultivated a persona for himself that I wonder, is that really how he is to Heidi, to other people behind closed doors? Part of
Hmm.
me says yes, part of me says no. Does Heidi need to be rescued? Is he actually like this amazing husband when no one's
Yeah.
looking? Like I have very mixed feelings about them.
I think that I would venture to say that you are not alone in that. I think that they're one of those couples that, like, you sat a group of people down and asked them about Heidi and Spencer, they would all have completely different answers. And I feel like some people would say, like, that girl needs to be saved from him. He's still a psychopath. And, you know, but then there are people that are like, oh, they're so in love and they tricked the system and they're Bonnie and Clyde, like they have a very polarizing situation going on there with their hummingbirds and all the things.
I
But
feel like after I saw New Beginnings, it sort of started to color things in a different way from when I was just rewatching their relationship on the original Hills. Now I feel
mhm.
like I see a fuller picture of who they are as a couple.
Yeah, especially it's been so long and now we're much more savvy about, how reality TV works. And it is definitely really weird to go back and like rewatch, you know, those like sort of self-produced moments from them.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
like through the mindset of a person that knows how reality TV works. So like back then, like, I mean, anything that they put on that screen for like a few years, we all were believing it, which is wild.
Oh yeah, especially when you do watch it back, you're like, "Oh yeah, this is so completely scripted. There's just no way that they could catch this."
Hmm.
Though I will say, even though it's notorious for being like the most scripted reality show ever, um what I always found really interesting is that they didn't try to recreate Spencer and Heidi meeting. They met each other
Yeah.
in between season 1 and season 2, and they just sort of like first episode of season 2, they're like, "Heidi has a boyfriend. Uh,
Yeah, it's
he's
true.
a dickhead. Take my word for it. I'm Lauren."
He's a
And then they
sucky
just
person.
he's a sucky person, okay? And then and they just dive right in, and I'm so surprised that she met him organically and then we never really see them meeting. They're
Yeah.
just already in a month or two long relationship by the premiere.
That is so true, and I also do want to just make it very clear that we obviously will be talking about, they very famously went through this sort of like career high that actually ended up being like their version of a very public rock bottom.
Yes.
And the era of Heidi getting like the 9,000 plastic surgeries in a day, and
Ugh.
Spencer like totally leaning into this crazy persona as like an abusive douchebag, so much that it actually became who he was, and them blowing $10 million in 2 years, all while just like trying to like white knuckle it to remain like relevant people.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really dark to like revisit. It's really, really sad.
It really is. I mean, the surgery stuff
Ugh.
is so shocking, and I do think it's something that if it happened today to um I mean, Heidi was kind of like a love to hate her or whatever. I always really liked her.
Yeah, me
But
too.
if this happened to today in today's day and age to a huge reality show star, that they just went through this enormous makeover that's so dangerous.
Yeah.
I I mean, I wonder how people would react, what the tabloids would look like, because with Heidi, it was just they were terrible to her. It wasn't like, "Oh, this is maybe someone with a mental illness of some kind."
It would honestly be the equivalent of like of Kylie Jenner sitting on Ryan Seacrest and going through every procedure she's had done ever,
Mhm.
but being like, "And I did it in an hour." Like, it would be, like, mind-blowing to people, you know what I mean?
Yes. And, I mean, because the surgery well, I mean, she had to have had a terrible surgeon because no legitimate person
Yeah,
would ever allow all of those surgeries at once or
without a
in
doubt.
general. I mean, I think most surgeons that are reputable would say to a young woman like this, like, "Oh, no, you need to get a psychiatric evaluation before I do 9
Yeah.
different surgeries on you."
Even down to him, like, I've rewatched a lot of her, and I have it in my notes, but I've rewatched a lot of her, like, post-surgery interviews where she's, like, when she went on that media tour, like, going through the gamut of everything she had done, and I even remember her, like, really pushing that she had her back scooped because it was, like, a
Oh,
new
God.
surgery, and the doctor was, like, using her to advertise this, like, new innovative thing where they scoop out your spine, like, wild.
Like,
She was like,
with a melon baller? Like, what do you oh, God.
"Just
Scoop
for a
out your
slight little, a little bump above your ass." It's like, okay, because that was with 9 months bedridden to have a
that
scoop above your butt crack.
I would love I mean, as soon as we're done, I am going to be Googling spine scooping.
It's absurd. It literally is, like, wild.
It has to
Um,
be illegal by now. That there's no way that that should be legal.
and she's like, "It's a new thing that I think they tried it on me first." It's like, that's nothing to brag about.
I know. You never wanna be the first at spine scooping.
And speaking of Heidi, I figured we could kinda, like, there's surprisingly not a ton of information about Spencer and Heidi on the internet before they were, like, super famous. I mean, obviously
No.
Spencer with, like Princess of Malibu and stuff, but, like, as far as, like, being kids, like, obviously we know from the show that Heidi grew up in very rural Colorado in, like, a ski town, and
Crested Butte.
Crested Butte. Uh, and she has 2 siblings, obviously her sister Holly and a younger brother Sky, um, who, like, later appeared on the show. Her sister obviously became very immersed in, like, the drama of her scripted life. Have you ever read about her dad's arrest?
Uh, you better believe I
I'm
have.
like, "Why am I even asking you? Of course you have. Holy shite. Can we
Um,
talk?"
it is insane, and, well, to be clear, it is her biological father,
Mhm.
not her stepdad, who she calls her father on the hills.
Yeah.
It's a different guy. Um, I mean, her stepdad on the hill seemed like a lovely man, just trying his
Oh,
best.
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And
Uh,
she and Spencer both did specify that her birth dad was, like, very dangerous and, like, out for money and stalking them and doing all this crazy shit to them as well.
okay, so what is he in jail now? Is for it was child molestation.
Yeah, it was sexual assault on a child by a person in a position of trust, and it was, a family member. I don't know if they've ever specified who
They've
in the
never
family.
specified. They have never specified, and all I can think, what was it, Heidi or Holly?
So from what I read, the articles that I've read specify that it wasn't Heidi, but, like, also who would brag about that?
Exactly. Like, I mean, I don't know. It just and even if what he got arrested for wasn't towards Heidi and Holly or one or the other,
Mhm.
I mean, at some point in their life, they were living with a convicted pedophile.
Yeah. Who, like, no matter what, did proposition a child in their family. So, like, what would hold him back? You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
just really dark.
it's the only thing I think that really colors how Heidi ended up in the place that she's in now. Because when you
Mhm.
see her on the show, she doesn't, I mean, she hardly talks about her life before the hills. Not, I mean, she was 22. There's not much of a life there when she was on the hills, but,
Right.
or younger, she was like 20. Um, but there's nothing really out there about her. And all you see is like this very nice, seemingly very caring mother and stepfather. They seem pretty normal. So it's like, why is this young woman, going to Los Angeles, getting 9 plastic surgeries in a day? Like, what
Yeah.
happened here? Like, Spencer's
Yeah.
just a little rich bitch, and, that's why he's an asshole. But, like, what happened to her?
It's really sad because it makes you realize, like, she was the perfect candidate for Hollywood to truly chew her up and spit her out. Like, she was from a small town,
Mhm.
obviously somewhat of a broken family. Her parents' divorce was a really big deal for her. She was naive. She was fame hungry. She was eager and, like, willing to basically do literally anything to become famous. So she is, like, the perfect prototype for somebody to come to Hollywood and just be fucking, ransacked.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she was a 10 in Crested Butte. Everyone told her, "You gotta move to Los Angeles," and it was probably the worst thing she's ever done for
For
herself
sure.
in her entire life.
Even, like, in that first season, I mean, I know that Heidi, she does say that, like, she was, like, playing up this character as a party girl and that they were, like, feeding her lines and stuff, but, like, there's a part of that sparkle that's just genuinely Heidi, and that's very clear. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
Heidi
yeah.
was that girl that, like in the first season, she during her meeting with her, like, college administrator, she says, like, that she wants to major in being a fun Hollywood promoter that's in charge of fun parties and stuff.
Oh my god. I
You know
love
what I
it.
mean? Like, that's Heidi. Like
Well, and I mean, even just in her conversation, I mean, you look at Lauren, and Lauren wasn't, at least in the first couple seasons, she's not much better off than Heidi as far as work ethic goes. She's
Right.
no Whitney, but
Yes.
she is just, I mean, she's fine. She is the straight woman, um, and Heidi is effervescent. Like,
Yep.
that is Heidi.
Yeah.
I mean, no one can script your charisma.
Exactly. Heidi is the girl that if those two walked into a room having nothing to do with looks, Heidi is the girl that everybody would gravitate towards easily. There's no doubt about that. And it's like nothing to do with how Lauren looks. She's gorgeous, but like
She's
Heidi
a
just
bump on a
had
log.
yeah, she's a bump in a log, and Heidi had this like massively effort. Like she had a magnetism.
Mhm. Oh,
Um,
100%.
and then as far as Spencer, I've actually in the episode that I did with my friend Maria, we talked about Brody and Avril Lavigne. We kind of talked a little bit about Spencer's origin story as far as Princess of Malibu, but I have no problem, going over it again. It was about a year ago that I did that, so a little refresher. Um, they actually approached this guy, Brant, Pittman. His name is a problem for me. Pinvidic. Like, why? Who cursed him?
That is change it, baby. This is
Pinvidic? I don't think so.
no, honey.
But at the time, he was like pretty fairly unknown. But he went on to become an executive producer on a ton of really well-known shows. And they were basically wanting to do a reality show about their lives. And he was on board as long as they were able to obtain David Foster as the sort of anchor, because he was the most famous person in their lives. He was married to Brody's mom. And he wanted to do this like sort of like slapstick family style, like copy of the Osbournes, very that time, everybody copying
Oh,
the
yeah.
family format. And once they got David, Fox basically made them an offer immediately, and Spencer held up the negotiations with Fox because this little boy who's basically never done anything on TV, wanted to be brought in and as an executive producer. And he actually convinced these grown men who have like worked at this craft that this like teenage boy, is going to be an executive producer on a Fox television show with David Foster, who's like responsible for fucking Celine Dion's career. You know what I mean? Like this.
I mean, the chutzpah
I mean,
on this man. On this boy, if I had a quarter of that chutzpah, I would not be recording this from a bedroom apartment. Okay, like,
oh my God, we'd be EPs on some trashy show on fucking Oxygen or something.
oh my God, I'd give my right arm. Okay.
And then obviously it was like, Spencer always looked at reality TV from the perspective of an executive producer. It's how he was introduced to television. And it was actually Brant's idea for Spencer to actually get in front of the camera and like stir some shit up. Because I don't know what it was, but he had an inkling that Spencer Pratt could be dramatic on screen. So
I think you meet Spencer and within 5 minutes that this is a little shit
yeah, absolutely.
who needs to be on screen.
He's 1000% been called a little shit his whole life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, do you remember hearing, what was it, Mary-Kate Olsen? They went to school together.
Yeah.
And she said she was quoted like he was like some little shithead in high school.
You know it. You know that he's the kid that like Uncle Frank from Home Alone. Little junk. Like that's how he was referred to his whole life. Like,
oh, totally.
Little shit.
You're
he was the kid that like the adults would like kick on the butt and say, "Get the hell out of here."
Oh yeah.
But as soon as oh, by the way, also this is all going on while David and Linda, Brody's mom, are in the midst of a divorce. So as soon as the Fox greenlights the show, they come to this guy and they're like, "By the way, we're divorcing." And he's like, "Fuck." So now they have to act the whole time. So the whole thing becomes scripted and they have to like pre-plan all these little hijinks that they'll get into because they don't even want to be together. So they basically just played it up for the camera so that their kids would have, some sort of like foot in the door. You know what I mean? And I'm saying kids plural because I feel like at that time Brody was basically like their second child.
Wow, that's so generous of them. I'm sure it had nothing to do with David Foster also being some kind of dickhead fame whore.
Oh my God. Who like pretends to. David Foster, I will never ever like whenever I hear his name, the image is burned in my mind of him like forcing everybody to sit around the piano during the holidays and listen to him play.
Oh my God. Well, the thing that always pops into my head instantly is how he ran over Ben Vereen.
Oh my God.
Which I think is the best piece of Hollywood trivia that's available.
David Foster, I've got to get on this. I've got to do a David Foster full-blown episode. I don't know what I've been waiting for.
He has I mean, my God. He talk about greatest hits.
Yeah, like literally.
Yolanda, Kat McPhee, come on.
Oh my God. And he's got like, he's got his ear to the door at like everybody, like Mariah, and like he knows all these things about Whitney and Celine, and like he's like that guy.
He's that guy.
Yeah. And then as far as The Hills, it was obviously developed as a spinoff of Laguna Beach, following Lauren Conrad's pursuit to become a fashion designer. Um, One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about that I find very fascinating is like you said earlier, Spencer obviously wasn't brought into the show until season 2. And, you know, the executive producer of Princes of Malibu, Sean Travis, was the one producing this show. And he was the one that Spencer basically asked, like, can I join the cast? Because Spencer thought the show was boring. Like, in his mind, he thought, like, that season 1 was the absolute worst because what the show could be compared to what they were allowing it to be was like nothing. And it is really weird when you watch season 1 of The Hills. It's a much different show, but it's funny because it's like the sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like the dynamic between them and the way that they spoke to each other and the way that it was filmed, all of that stuff was established that first season, but it didn't remain that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it becomes a completely different show. You know what? It's kind of eh, I feel like if you look back on The Hills, if you haven't rewatched it, you just assume that Spencer was in it the entire time. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like in most people's memories, the show actually starts at season 2.
Yes, I agree.
Like, when I went back and rewatched it, the first season, I was like, I remember parts of these episodes, but I do not, like, in my head, Spencer's in the whole season.
Yeah. It's so weird to think that he, like, didn't really come in and, like, he came in specifically to make the show better. Like, that was his goal. He came in, like I said, through the eyes of an executive producer. He wanted it to be more dramatic. Like, he came in character.
And, he does make the show better because he actually brings some drama, and for some reason, the producers, the first season, like, just sort of let that fall on the shoulders of some complete dud men to sort of be the villains.
Yeah.
But my problem with the show as it goes on is it just becomes so one note. Like,
Mhm.
I think what's great about Real Housewives is one season, 2 women could be best friends. The next season, they're not. 3 seasons later, they're best friends again.
Yeah.
The relationships are always shifting. And I think this is probably Lauren's fault because she stuck her feet in the mud, but it was just
Mhm.
like they weren't friends anymore. It was over. And then just shooting around them, not wanting to film together.
Yeah, and, like, the same narrative constantly that, like, Heidi and Spencer are terrible and they're bad, and Lauren's this angel who is always, saying and doing the right things, and the narrative just became so monotonous. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
no character development happening here. They're just leaning in more and more to, like, the same thing.
And I mean, I think that it could have been a better show had they not just essentially relied on Spencer to
Yeah.
do everything. Like, there was not enough story editing there.
Yeah, there was barely any. I mean, like, when you look
None.
back at The Hills, like, in comparison to shows that we watch now, like, there's nothing happening. Like,
Literally nothing. It is
nothing is going on. Audrina is having 7-minute conversations about her nail polish and, like, staring up into the ceiling, and there's nothing going on. There's the occasional catty remark that leads into, like, a SoCal pop punk song, but besides that, like, there's really not much going on.
it's quaint for the times, but
Mhm.
now I've seen people literally shooting up heroin on
Yeah.
A&E, like,
Yes.
live.
Yes.
I mean, hoarders, cat skulls being strewn about.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is no longer enough for me. Just, Heidi and Lauren arguing about like who's going to be my new roommate if you move out. Like
Yeah.
I've got that shit in my own life. I don't need to watch it on TV and you're
I know. And like, okay, so we're about the same age. I'm 31 now. And I guess there was something at the time that felt very relatable. I can't speak to people who were older or younger than me, but I can say that we are the same age as Lauren. And
yeah.
there was something very relatable about like following her journey and like having similar life events take place, and obviously on a much smaller scale, like moving into your own place and just like the sort of monotony, you know what I mean, of being like
Oh,
relatable.
yeah. Well, I think what made it work during that time was that it was aspirational but also relatable. It's like, what would it be like if I moved to LA but also
Yeah.
my parents were paying for all of it? And it
Yes.
like the thing that I found most relatable, and this does not speak well of me, was first season Lauren's work ethic at her internship where she's just like, um, it's my boyfriend's birthday. Um, can I get out of this important thing early?
Yeah. She's like,
And I'm
I've never had anything not go my way. So
so and I would have been doing the exact same thing, like, what? But it's like his birthday. I
yeah.
have to go.
I feel like you're being a bitch.
Like,
um And to kind of piggyback off what you said earlier about them meeting and it not being introduced in the show, they did, according to, and I read this interview, I think it was from 2016. It was like a Vice tell-all between Heidi and Spencer, and that's where a lot of my notes come from today. Um,
oh, yes, yes.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
So they talked about meeting at Club Privilege, and according to Spidey, they locked eyes and the rest was history. And during that time, Heidi and Lauren were like notorious party girls. Like everybody knew that like Heidi and Lauren, if the sun was down, they were out somewhere drinking from a fishbowl. And
Love
according
that.
to Spencer, they both were like at a point where they could literally outdrink like Snooki and JWoww, but they weren't being filmed doing that. Um, and Heidi's also stated that she, in almost all of her paparazzi photos from that time period that were taken at night, in almost every single one of them, she's blacked out and doesn't remember. And the night
So
that
chic.
like so relatable to
I love
2007. I'm like, oh, girl, who wasn't? Um, but the night that she met Spencer, he was actually sitting in a VIP booth surrounded by playmates with Brody, and Heidi was also she was out with Kristen and Lauren, and this was during a period when I guess like they weren't talking to Audrina, and like they were with Audrina. It's a whole fucking thing. It seems like it's something that would have been on the show. It's unreal. But she
I
approached
can't
him.
believe that they missed all of this.
Can
Like, it
you?
seems like it was the most interesting part of that show, and they missed all of it?
Like they missed the scene that the show ended up revolving around for like 5 years.
Un Unbelievable.
It
Who
makes
were
no
these
sense.
amateurs
I don't
working on
understand.
the show?
Heidi said in that
Amateurs.
interview, she said, I was like cartoon goo goo eyes, which like is so weird to imagine being goo goo eyes over Spencer. Um, but she said I was
I
cartoon goo goo eyes, heart falling out of my head. She said she decided to steal Spencer from the Playmates, and she said they may be cute. This is incredible. This is one of the best quotes I've ever read on this podcast. She said they may be cute, but they don't have my dance moves. Heidi remembers thinking, she had lived in Italy for 6 months when she was 17, and European clubs taught her how to dirty dance. Heidi dashed over to Spencer and told him, let's dance, and then started grinding on him. She says, quote, I was twerking before it was twerking. It was my own creation. I pretty much told everyone, I'm going to marry this man one day. I'm in love with him. And they all thought I was crazy. That's actually dark.
It is so dark, and I remember that quote, like, it really stuck out, spoke to me. And all I can think about is her spending 6 months in Italy, and how did she, by the grace of God, not just turn out like Amanda Knox? Like, I could see
I know.
an alternate universe where she is in an Italian prison in Perugia, Italy.
And like we've all seen the first of all, that's amazing. We've all seen the music video for Overdose and we've seen the video for Higher. I'm like, where are these alleged moves you created when you invented twerking? I've yet to see it.
And we have seen her dancing on the show just casually. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like she has the sort of moves of Taylor Swift, where it's just
Yes.
long, skinny limbs sort of like flapping by her side.
Yeah, I call it titanium spine. It's like
Oh.
your spine is just a metal pole and that's nothing more.
Well, that's why she got her spine scooped. So she
so that she could dance and show off her creations.
exactly. That was the only
sensual.
thing holding her back.
And it is funny too that like, you know, when they met, they both kind of had a mutual understanding. Like Spencer admitted, you know, that he wanted to start dating a girl from the show because it meant that he could be on the show. He literally would have dated anybody that approached him. He just wanted to be on the show. And he knew that dating one of the girls and becoming all encompassing in their life would be like his way in. But he ended up falling in love with her, like genuinely. And apparently, like one night when they were out, they were with Kristen, and Kristen made a joke about how Spencer was becoming whipped by Heidi. And his form of retaliation was to dance with other girls in front of her to make her jealous. And as a result, Heidi ended up like changing her number, which like was a really big deal back in the day during like flip phone era. Like changing your phone number was like you had to call Verizon, you know. He had
God
to like
forbid.
he had to get his bring back tones all figured out. It was a whole thing.
Oh, God.
But it was at that point that he realized that he loved her because she like wouldn't speak to him and he was like losing his shit. And
Or did he realize he loved her, or is it just one of those things where a woman plays hard to get and suddenly the guy is like, "Oh, no, no."
you're right. Exactly. Because she changed her number for a couple days. Now you're freaking out because she's not like feeding you grapes and like making you feel like the tallest man in the world.
Exactly.
Is that the problem, Spencer?
Is that
Um,
it, Spency, you little
or did you miss her sensual dance moves that she created in Italy? So actually, this is the night that I was referencing earlier. The Audrina night is different. So Heidi and Lauren ran into him while she wasn't speaking to him. He was out with Audrina. And at the time, Lauren and Heidi weren't speaking to Audrina because there was a rumor going around that Audrina had gotten fucked in like a bathroom or something in a club by Jason Waller. And of course,
Oh,
as you
wait, I
know,
did not hear this. Fucked in the Back of the Club by Jason Waller? Wow,
there was a
okay.
rumor that she like hooked up with him like at a club and that they actually had like penetrative sex like in public. From what I've read on message boards. So of course,
Wow.
Lauren, who's like the ultimate, you know, the in quotes girl's girl. Ugh. I'm very anti Lauren Conrad. I've made it very clear on this podcast. I'm not a fan, but she
Oh
was
my God.
upset.
I mean, I did a Spencer and Heidi episode on my podcast a couple years ago, and I have some choice words for Miss Conrad.
Yeah. And do you know what? I have a theory about her that I want to run by you here in a minute, actually very, very soon. And I want to get your take on it. If you don't, because it's like hard to, you know, people either love Lauren or they don't. It's just like very polarizing. But at the time, like I said, Spencer thought that the first season was very boring. So he was like coming up with all these ideas in his mind of how he could like wreck the show basically and make it his own. And he started calling it Operation Upstage LC. And he told Vice, he said, I was treating the show like a producer because I had literally just produced a show on Fox. He said, I didn't know how to be on camera talent. Then he said they just edited out everything that made these girls cool. He says the editors would make made them into these little drone robots that said, "Doop, doop, doop, going to work at Bolt's house, and I work at Teen Vogue, bleep, bloop, bleep." And he and Heidi sat around brainstorming plot lines. They decided to play the villains because it would get the show higher ratings and bring in higher ratings that would make them A plot characters. Because at the time, Heidi was a B plot. She was like, I described her in my notes as like the Kramer to Lauren's like Seinfeld. You know, she would just pop
Yes.
in and say some wacky dumb shit, and then that would be it.
Yes, definitely.
Um, and he also said for many years, like in his young, immature mind, that Lauren had an understanding of the differences between their on-screen life and their, real life. And he thought at the beginning that she was in on it. Like, we're all producing a show. But Lauren took this show, which is so annoying and weird and like so LC, but like she took the show very serious. And even though they were like feeding her lines about her life, like the integrity of the show was very important to her.
Ugh, ugh,
Like, ugh,
ugh.
God.
I mean, if it was so important to her, then why would you allow the storyline of you choosing a douchebag guy with a chin strap over going to Paris? Like, why would you ever take on that storyline for yourself if you're so concerned about your integrity and the integrity of the show? Get
Thank
over
you.
yourself, LC. Okay.
Thank you. And then Heidi said, this is the part that I want to run by you. She said, LC was like, it's my show or it's my world. Heidi says she didn't like someone coming in and changing things up and changing up the formula because it was her world and she wanted it to stay that way. Both Heidi and Spencer believed that Lauren was upset that Heidi's world no longer revolved around her um, and her own needs. Heidi had gone from sidekick to protagonist of her own story, both on TV and in real life. And they both maintained that the initial, the main root of their issue before all of the press Hilton shit and all the stuff was that Heidi, you know, was basically in her orbit. She was like, her life revolved around
Yeah.
Lauren, literally. And as soon as she got a boyfriend and started doing things on her own, Lauren was not having it.
You know, after rewatching it with a little more wisdom and experience under my belt,
Hmm.
one thing that I did really see with Lauren is I think that a lot of young women, especially when they're single or in like tumultuous hetero relationships,
Hmm.
they find this like female best friend person,
Yep.
and they like these two girls will just like create a an almost romantic relationship, but
Yes.
without the physical part of it.
Yeah.
And watching it back, I mean, to me, I think on some level, I think it was maybe a narcissism, but also I think she really loved Heidi.
Yeah.
Maybe not, I don't necessarily think that she was legitimately like attracted to her or thought of her in a romantic way consciously.
Hmm.
But I think that when she started going for Spencer and like, leaving Lauren in the dust sometimes, to Lauren, it was like a heartbreak and like a breakup.
Absolutely. It was a betrayal. It was a betrayal. I think that you describe it perfectly. Like, especially when you're, like you said, when you're younger, it's almost like there are people like Lauren who feel like they do need that one person that's like their,
Mhm.
as Vicky Gumbelson would say, soulmate, my friend, my soulmate, my sister, like just really, really, really like this intense bond that, when you fight, it is almost like romantic. Like the
Yeah.
betrayals feel like things that you would get mad at your boyfriend about.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, when you watch it back, like the stuff that they fight over, Lauren is just, I mean, Lauren is wrong. She
yeah,
is unequivocally wrong. I mean, Spencer, yes, is acting like a jerk, and he is really putting Heidi in a tough spot throughout the
yep,
entire thing. But so is Lauren. And throughout that second and third season, I mean, I think that Lauren's the villain.
Me too. I've always felt that way. Like, and Lauren always had a really possessive. I think that Lauren may trigger me because I used to have a friend like her, and
Oh,
it
so
was
did
sort of,
I.
you know what I mean? It's like everybody has had like that girl in their life that you
Yes.
feel like you have to walk on eggshells around because it could be the implosion of your friendship. And, you know, like she's always been really possessive of her friends. Actually, I have another quote from that Vice article where Heidi said, "She wanted me to be with her always 24/7, every single night." According to Heidi and Spencer, one Valentine's Day, Lauren expected Heidi to go clubbing at Area with her. Heidi obliged, but at 3 a.m., she wanted to leave to see Spencer. It's fucking Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
So, like, girl, back up.
back
Um,
off.
she says that she and Lauren had a huge fight where Lauren told her that she only wanted to live with a roommate who would actually be home with her. And that's not a, and Spencer said, "That's not a roommate, girl. That's some Siamese twin shit." Lauren's anger increased when Heidi decided to move out. Heidi says that Lauren felt like if she wasn't going to do what she wanted to do, then she would kick her off the show. And her way of kicking her off the show was to move her out of the house. But obviously, that wasn't what happened. So when that, excuse me, backfired in Lauren's face, it was even more ammo for her to be like, "I hate you."
Ugh. I mean, yeah, I just it is very triggering to me because I feel like I've had a small handful of these sorts of
Hmm.
relationships where I mean, listen, Troy, you and I are the effervescent Heidis. People people gravitate towards, and, like, when that happens, sometimes you're going to attract a Lauren who tries to control you, and we can't be tamed, okay?
Look, no lies detected. Like Lauren is definitely somebody who, Lauren was like a natural fly on the wall, bump on the log,
Mhm.
wallflower kind of gal. And it's no coincidence that she was always surrounded by these large personality girls, these girls with like, who could walk into a room and light it up. Always. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
it's not,
and
there's no coincidence with that.
you know what it is, too? That is her in her career also, where there's no original thought. She is just curating her Kohl's collection.
Yes. Ugh.
Like, it's just a curation of other people's good ideas and good designs. It's nothing her
Yeah.
whole life is it's never anything, from her own brain. She needs
No,
other people bringing in the spice.
exactly. That's why I've always said that is she gives a voice to basic girls. And, like,
Yes. Oh my
when I say
I
basic, I mean, like, I think that sometimes can come off really offensively. It's like, now it's become like, if you, like, wear gray, you're basic. To me, a basic girl is somebody like Elsie, like you said, who is incapable of her own thoughts and is afraid to sort of, like, be loud and proud in who she is, so she hides behind, like, this like very subdued, boring personality. You know what I mean? Because you know that Jason Waller saw a side of Lauren that we'll never see.
Oh, totally.
Do you know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
yes. I mean, it she you know what the other thing that drives me crazy about her is I feel like they're just based on her Instagram following or, who she follows, like, it's been such a long time since The Hills, and she's not following any of her old cast members. I think maybe she follows Whitney, but that's about it. I
Yeah.
feel like she's so stuck up about it and so, like, still holding some sort of grudge. Like,
Yeah.
there's no, like, fun or, like, nostalgia or
No.
irony attached to her being a part of this show. Like, she doesn't
Oh,
give it any credit for where she is now, which if this show didn't happen, I mean, listen, she wouldn't be slinging basics at Kohl's, okay?
no, 100%. That's why she wouldn't let Heidi and Spencer be a part of the reunion special with her because they view the show that way. Like the way that we view The Hills is how they view it as like a
Exactly.
nostalgic, fun look back at a time period Whereas like Lauren thinks that this is like her visual diary. Like we don't,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like we let go of that when you packed up your fucking back seat and drove along the coast from Laguna Beach. Like none of us were watching this show and thinking like, oh, I need more of a look into Lauren's life. It was no, you're surrounded by interesting people. The scenes with you of your own show are the most boring. And the show becomes less and less about you because you are a non-factor in this show about your life. Real talk.
I think she really thinks of herself as a Carrie Bradshaw.
I do too.
I think, like, and there's always those friends who are like, oh, yeah, I'm a Carrie for sure. And you're like,
Yep.
are you?
Yeah.
God bless.
I know.
She is one of those people who thinks she's that interesting and that charismatic. And she, I mean, once her storyline really fizzled out with Heidi, I mean, she had nothing left.
No. Like, as fun as it is to watch you swivel in the chair at Teen Vogue, there's really not much else that you're giving us, gal. Like, even Whitney Port. I mean, like, I live for Whitney. She's actually my favorite person from this whole franchise. And
Oh my God, me too.
I had so much more fun watching her work a door and fucking manage the clipboard at a party than anything going on in Lauren's life during that time.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved the city.
Oh, me too.
I
Olivia was
love,
everything.
oh my God, I'm, you know what? I'm pissed that Lauren got years and years of chances and seasons to be interesting. And we
I
only got,
know.
what was it, 2 seasons of the city?
I know. And it was riveting. It was so
Riveting.
good.
I loved it. Ugh.
And it is really fascinating too, like during this time when Heidi moved out of her apartment. Um, this is like where Heidi and Spencer like kind of become who they are. Like they hired Brad Pitt's publicist to start like teaching them how to like basically scam. And they partnered with this UK based photo agency and they started staging their own paparazzi photos. Um, and they were making millions of dollars off of these photos, a year, like a lot of fucking money. And, you know, like I can honestly say firsthand that I think Spencer and Heidi were the first famous people that I knew that were open and honest about the fact that they would reach out to the paparazzi.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I had never heard of that. And like up to that point, I believed, that when I saw Brad Pitt and Angelina on a beach in Africa, that they just don't happen to get spotted. You know what I mean? I didn't understand that they were like calling people
Oh,
and like planning all
100%.
these things.
I When I was growing up in New Hampshire before I moved to LA, I just thought that like, oh wow, Los Angeles is teeming with paparazzi. They're on every corner because how else are they just like figuring out where Lindsay Lohan is?
Yeah. So, like, how did they know that she was at the Coffee Bean at, 6 a.m. and that she was angry about something? How did they know?
How did they know? They just must be everywhere.
And we also see during this time that the show does start to bleed into their real lives and, their families are now on the show. They're taking part in these like scripted moments that are interfering with their actual relationships. And, what we don't know is that the producers are also, bribing them. They're bribing the girls to say certain things about other girls and they're bribing, Heidi's family, who at the time, her mom owned a restaurant and it was constantly struggling and it was constantly almost being taken from her. She was always having financial issues. So the show would dangle, $20,000 and $30,000 checks over her head and say, like, we know Heidi doesn't want you to film this scene, but can you please come film it? And then she'd do it because
Oh,
she was
ugh,
losing her income.
it's so sad.
It's
But
terrible.
also
I mean,
I mean, God, it's sad. I don't like that.
I know. I know. And this is like, entering that period of Heidi and Spencer like completely losing themselves to these characters that they created. And the cast also starting to separate themselves from Heidi and Spencer, because like even they can't like justify the things that they're doing and saying publicly. And, you know, we were in no way, shape, or form savvy enough to understand at this point that they were acting.
Right.
We didn't fucking know that. This is like Project Runway is like a few years in. Like we didn't know that they were acting. I mean, I really legitimately it took me longer to know that The Hills was fake than I will ever admit to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and also what I can't get over is for a fake show, I mean, if you're scripting it, get creative.
Can we talk?
Like
Like, why am I bored if this is written?
like it's truly insane that they were just like, "Listen, we're just gonna script this. We have no scruples about it. Hire a writer or something." Like, what are you even doing?
It's
You might
unreal.
as well just let them do whatever they want if this is what you're getting out of it, thinking about it beforehand. Get an improv team or something to
Yeah. Seriously, to like throw some ideas out. Like we need like a
yeah,
spitball session going because this is like unreal. Like
get a word
and
from the audience or something like, come
and like during this time too, like that guy Brant Pivnidik, um, he was sort of turning on Spencer. They only just recently started communicating again, because Spencer was becoming such a monster, and uh, they were like under the impression that this money that they were getting was just going to keep coming. Like there was no end in sight. They're on TV. People love them. They're going to stay on TV until they're dead. And this is also when they signed up for NBC's "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here,"
oh, yeah.
um, where a group of like D-list and reality television stars go to the jungle and survive, and the money goes to charity. Um, they came to some agreement with those producers that they would be the villains. They like very famously were there for like 2 days, and like Heidi faked a sickness, and then they said that the devil spoke to them and told them to leave the rainforest. So they wanted to go back because they were. I'm pretty sure like their pay was up for negotiation at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So like it was Satan. Can we come back?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, like, it was like a whole Satan thing, but, like, we're he left, it's totally cool.
Did you watch that show, I'm a Celebrity?
I did not, no. I remember when it was on, and I remember that whole situation going down, but I no, I'm not much of a, like, unless it's, like, Celebrity Rehab, I
Yeah.
usually don't go down the whole, like, mishmash of celebrities on, like, a random network show.
1000% understandable. It was as bad as you thought. I mean, I literally that was like a period of my life, and I'm not gonna say that I'm out of it, but that was a period of my life where I would just truly support anything Janice Dickinson was doing.
Oh, okay, yes,
Do
that
you know what
is
I'm saying?
absolutely.
If Janice was on a show, like, my DVR was set and locked and loaded and ready to go.
Oh,
Um, so I really watched it for Janice, and then all of a sudden I'm like enthralled in Sinjaya's like journey in the jungle. Like it was bad. It was a bad show.
I mean,
Um
that's dark times, Sanjaya in the jungle.
and this was like a really, really major turning point for them because they had become officially when they left that show and the what the winnings for the show was like charity. Um the hatred that America felt for them was like irrefutable. Like people really genuinely hated Heidi and Spencer. Like they were probably the most hated people in the country. And I definitely remember the vibe during this time that people felt sorry for Heidi. They felt that she was, trapped in this like horrific situation with this abuser who had brainwashed her. Um, and Heidi has even said that like during this time that she felt totally isolated. They had no friends. They didn't speak to their families. They like lived in this empty mansion, and Heidi would just obsessively read comments on like, videos and shit of her on the internet talking about how ugly she was and how she was like Lauren's ugly friend. And Like, she was always rated the least attractive out of the cast.
Which is so weird to me. Like,
Wild.
God, the early 2000s,
I know.
the
And
way people teared apart women, tore apart. I mean,
when Us Weekly could just do a
worth it.
countdown of the prettiest people on the show, like, it's like, what? What? Um, but this is actually when that guy approached her. She was approached by a doctor who was like, "Hey, I'll give you 10 plastic surgery procedures worth worth $300,000 if you do a press tour talking about it."
Oh my
And
God.
in the mind of this insecure girl who's becoming completely warped and out of touch with reality, like, of course she's going to do it. And she jumped on the opportunity. Spencer was actually the one that told her not to, and he begged her not to do it. Um, and she was like gung ho. And, the doctor also convinced them that it was minor. He kept telling Spencer, like, you don't have to worry because these are minor procedures, things that people come in and do on their lunch break. And then all of a sudden her
God.
spine is being scooped. I mean,
Oh my God. I mean, oh yeah, just a quick lunch break. I mean,
just
you
just
can
a
eat
quick
your tuna salad while we quickly scoop your spine. Like, don't.
um and they were like freaking out too. I remember reading during this time that they both were so deluded that they were like, well, Jersey Shore just premiered and the ratings for The Hills went down, I think like 30% or something during the first season of Jersey Shore, especially after Snooki had gotten punched. And you could immediately tell like the tide was turning. People were way more excited to watch this show. And they were like, we have to do this. So she ended up doing, they did a partnership with People Magazine, which we all remember. And in one day, she had an eyebrow lift. She had her nose done, her lips filled with fat from her stomach. She had her cheekbones done. She had her ears pinned. She had her chin implanted. She
Mm,
had size F breasts done. She had
ugh.
boobs. She wanted bigger than F, but they wouldn't allow it. And then she had her back scooped and bragged about how she was the first person to have her spine scooped out. Oh, and she had her waist shaved and her butt injected, and she got lipo in her thighs. Can you imagine?
I mean, she's honestly lucky she's not dead.
I know.
I mean, poor Donda West
Uh,
is dead. Like, I mean, I guess she had her youth on her side, a more resilient body, but like, my God.
well, according to Spencer, it actually, just to correct you, it was the crystals that saved her.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah, let's get it clear. It
Let's
was
get
she
that
was
right.
she was bedridden for 6 months. She was in excruciating pain. Spencer did say that the doctor was giving her just bucket loads of pain pills, not
Ah,
caring how she was taking them.
she's lucky she isn't hooked on Oxy.
I know, it's very Requiem for a Dream.
It really is. I mean, and also, like, I hate to say it, but being on those painkiller narcotics for that long, she probably didn't poop for like 6 months. Those
Ooh,
are
God, I didn't think about that.
like her life must have been pure hell for a year.
I mean, that's like to imagine every single from literally from your forehead to your toes being in like surgical pain. Like,
I
uh,
I can't I can't imagine.
like you have size F boobs on you. You have like a specialty implant that they have to order on you. And like, I don't know, it's crazy. And I don't
It's like
know.
you know those did you ever go to Spencer's Gifts when you were a
Of
kid?
course. Yeah.
Of course. And you know those greeting cards that they would sell with the women who had like the enormous breasts?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what she was going for with the
Yeah.
like I don't understand what else she thought she would look like.
And then we've all seen that episode of the show where like the producers tricked her that was another situation where her mom was about to lose her restaurant and she needed like $30,000 to cover some sort of bill. And they were like, well, if you come film a reaction live on air to Heidi's surgery, like we'll give you $30,000 and you'll keep your restaurant. And Heidi begged her not to do it.
Oh
And
my
of course
God.
she did. And they fed her things to say. So like they had a conversation about how like she was going to be supportive and, people are really beating up on me. I really need for you to just say that I look beautiful. And then when she got there, the producers told her, like, we want you to be shocked. Like, we want you to be horrified. We want you to be disgusted, which I'm sure wasn't hard.
Yeah.
And she
I
did it.
mean, my parents act horrified when I like change my hair color. It's like, you're not my baby anymore.
Where's our little girl?
Where's that little girl? I mean, I can't imagine what her mother was thinking.
Like, you've removed every trace of me.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the Jersey Shore episode that I recorded with Riley, we spoke about, Jersey Shore sort of being like the anti-Hills. It was raw and it was gritty and it was like being on like a fly on the wall in this like group of friends that, just felt like it was like some sort of docuseries at the time. And the Hills had become very dark and like absurdly scripted and totally unrelatable to the viewer. According to Spencer, they had decided at that point that they needed to like try and kick into overdrive, and that's when like he got really crazy and started like putting the crystals to his forehead and isolating everybody in their lives and literally becoming like Gary Busey, like just losing it.
Mhm.
And I read that they had plans after the show got canceled that they were going to move to Europe and like buy like a chateau because they were spending literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Um, so much money. And they got there. They didn't plan the trip. They got to Europe, realized they couldn't afford anything there. So they just stayed in a hotel in Europe for 6 months and spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a day on shopping and room service until they literally blew through the last of their $10 million and they had no money. And they just kind of went into that post Hills Spidey like seclusion for years, which is so crazy.
I mean, just like go down to the corner store and get a baguette and cheese. Like you don't need room service in Europe every night.
Every day.
My
Every single
God.
day.
My God.
I know. Thousands of dollars a day on just room service. That's one expense. Room service. Some throwaway thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, good Lord, get a prepared Trader Joe's salad. I don't
And that's when we see them kind of like go into that like secluded, like they moved into like Spencer's dad's beach house rent free and they just tucked themselves away from the world. And they've obviously more recently like reemerged. Like Spencer was on Celebrity Big Brother and they do very much like lean into, they sort of have like that Tiffany Pollard fame, like,
Oh,
or they're like,
yes.
you know what I mean? Like they know their thing and they know why they're famous and they'll give that to people if they want it. But it's just, I don't know, it's crazy. And I do really wish that a smart person had come along and said like, I'm going to reboot The Hills, but really give it what it's always deserved. And like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like it was such a big disappointment.
It was such a huge disappointment. The only thing they gave it was an extra half hour of runtime every episode, which it did not need. I mean, it
Fuck
went
no.
from a half hour of a bunch of boring shit to a full hour of it. I mean,
Oh my God. It's
it was such a
unreal.
huge, huge disappointment.
I was so excited by that. I thought that they were really going to give us like the docuseries that we deserved all these years, and we didn't get it.
Well, I thought what they were going to do was, you know, we'd have this cast of characters that we know, and then they're going to update it with these standards of reality television that we now know today.
Mhm.
But instead, they just really kept it to the standard of 10 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
Like
Nothing changed.
nothing changed except they just gave them more time to sort of just like stare into space. And oh, we did get those great commercials within the show of just like Whitney whitening her teeth with Crest White.
Oh my god. It literally is like a movie. It's like a if Instagram started doing like programming, it would be
Yes.
that show.
I'll never forget the first I think they did it the first time with Audrina and she's putting on eye makeup. And I'm like, "Why are we watching her put mascara on for 30 seconds? This isn't how television works."
Like, oh yeah, the
Oh,
hills.
okay.
Oh
I'm watching a
yeah.
commercial right now.
Yeah. They think they're tricking me.
They think
Um,
they got me, but they don't.
I haven't done this in a long time, but like, what would you ideally like to see from, like, what do you want them to do? Like, what show do you want them to be on? Like, what do you want from them? What do you think would be like the perfect career choice for them, like right now?
Oh, wow. Um, I would like to see something I want okay, I think that they would need to be, paired with maybe, like, a Bravo producer,
Hmm.
um, someone who's maybe a little more adept at getting people to, like, really reveal something, and I would
Yeah.
like to see because, I mean, I love Whitney, but she's too normal, and everyone else on the show was just, like, nothing happening. I just want the 2 of them on their own show, but with Bravo producers, and seeing, like, what their life is really like, and seeing them more as three-dimensional human beings and
Yeah.
not as just, like, these characters, because we've seen that for the last 12 years or so. Like, I get it. I get their gimmick. I
Yeah.
get their characters. I wanna see them, like I don't know, like, what is it really like for them to take care of Gunner?
Yeah.
And, like, deal what is it really like and they can tell us, like, "Oh, Spencer and Stephanie," like, that's all bullshit. I wanna see his parents.
Yeah.
I just want something a little more gritty, but I don't think that they would ever grant the public that. I
Don't you
think
feel at this point they deserve it almost? Like,
yes.
they deserve to be able to have, like, a healthy narrative. Like, we've been watching
Yes.
them on TV for so long, and, I mean, given what we just spoke about, like, obviously, they've been really fucking put through it, like, I mean, if anybody has an interesting perspective, I mean, Heidi alone, like,
Absolutely.
my god, like, I would love to hear Heidi's, like, actual raw feelings about that time period and, like, how her and her friends were treated and, how women were treated that she was sort of put in the same category as during that time, like, that would be really cool.
I would honestly yeah, that's at this point, I think they've given us everything that they can within these characters, and unless they give me something real, which I frankly do not think Spencer would allow,
Yeah,
I feel like he is so attached to his public persona and character to the point where he doesn't know who he really is.
I agree.
And even I think probably Heidi too, but I do think that Heidi could be coaxed out of that. Um, but yeah, I only wanna see them being vulnerable, and
You know what?
I don't know that that's possible.
I want them to do this is my answer to everything, by the way, but I want them to do a YouTube series. Like, I want them on YouTube.
Ooh,
I want them
okay.
to start vlog I want Spencer because Spencer's a good, creator of content, right? Like, he's really
Yeah.
good at like, his Snapchat was iconic, like, his Instagram stories are great. I want him to start vlogging. Like, I want, like, hour-long vlogs, like, weekly vlogs, daily, I don't give a shit, a few times a week. I want them to become, like, YouTube queens.
I would like that, and also I do think, um, like, with his stories, I do think he presents, like, a really likable part of himself that, um, when I was first watching them when they were getting popular, his stories and but
Mhm.
before they started the show again,
Right.
he was coming off as likable, and I just think that when those cameras are
Yep.
put in front of his face,
Oh, you're so right.
he goes into producer mode and he just becomes totally fake.
You're so right. Because he was so likable because and, like, he also has such a weird personality, and he, like, has all these weird eccentric things that he does every day that are interesting to watch, and again, like you said, like, when he gets in front of an actual camera, he becomes Spencer Pratt, but him on Snapchat during that beginning period was it was a revelation because it was so cool to see him just be himself and be normal and be obsessed with birds and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
his, like, love of
exactly, like, his
animals.
quirkiness.
Yeah, and that he, like, legitimately thinks Heidi is, like, the most funny, like, sexy woman that he's ever laid eyes on. Like, they legitimately think that each other are so funny and so entertaining, and it's, like, interesting to watch. I don't know, Spencer, obviously you're listening. Get on YouTube, please. You guys just
Please,
fucking just please.
please, Spence. Begging. The public is begging you.
We've got our fingers crossed. Um, well, I've kept you long enough, and I know that you had, like, a heart out, and we definitely just went past it, so
I mean, how can you not when we're
I
talking
know, I'm
about
sorry.
such incredible content?
Tell people where they can find your podcast and all the things.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. It's the podcast is Les Do You Remember This? LESDEUX, like the club, okay? Um, on iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, Les Do You Remember This on Instagram. And also at Dara Lane is my personal, if you want to see what I look like.
She's a gorgeous ginger. She
Thank you.
looks like Lindsay Lohan during her best years.
Oh my God, that is truly the kindest thing anyone has ever.
Yeah. And I told my friend actually the other day, we were talking about your podcast, and I was like, it's kind of like it's like early 2000s ASMR
Oh my God, wow.
because you have a good
You.
podcast voice. The way that you record and like your storytelling, in comparison to me, who's over here like burping and eating Nutella off a spoon, like you are you're killing it. So,
Thank you so much.
of course, thank you so much for doing this with me. It was super fun.
Of course, I'm happy to do it. It was so much fun. I loved it.
All right. Well, you guys, that was episode, again, I never remember whatever number I said earlier of this mushroom. I hope that you enjoyed it and enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good Halloween.